Hello everyone, I'm Steve Savant, syndicated financial columnist and money color commentator. On today's show, benefit-focused defined benefit plans. Part 5 in our series on tax-advantaged retirement plans with retirement expert, Jody Daly. Welcome to the 5th segment, Jody.
Thank you, Steve.
Now this is, we're pretty much down the middle here. Everything we talked about in the first 4 segments seemed to be pretty straight up. And I really enjoyed it. You are an expert in your field. You actually explain things in English, not in MBA speak, not in industrial acronyms. I so appreciate you.
Thank you.
It's a gift. Now, we're going to go into a little more eclectic, a little bit more sophisticated. When I think of a defined focus plan, I know it's a defined benefit plan, right? But defined focus, now what's the focus?
Benefit-focused plan.
Yeah. So we're not talking about just accumulating money now. We're talking about ancillary benefits. Give me an example.
Well, in a traditional defined benefit plan, we usually view that as a plan that's going to pay a lump sum out down the road. At some point, that money is going to be taken out of the plan. The participant is going to take it in the form of annuity payments, or they're going to take a lump sum at retirement. In a benefit-focused plan, it's designed for them not to take the money out of the plan. It's basically a lifetime of income. It's going to provide income for them and possibly their spouse for well after retirement, into retirement.
What other benefits besides income?
Well, for the employer or for the employee?
Well, let's just do the employee for a second, because I totally understand the employer defined benefit. Pretty much that's not going to change for him. But what do I get if I go beyond the traditional defined benefit program and I'm adding benefits? What benefits am I adding to this?
Well, one of the things that is being added to the plan is a 100% joint and survivor benefit.
Income for life.
Pre and post retirement life insurance benefit.
So you have a death benefit.
There's a death benefit.
Right,
yeah,
now,
I'm sorry.
And you have one before you get during accumulation. There's a death benefit provision.
Pre-retirement and post-retirement.
And post-retirement. Okay, so that's your traditional defined benefit plan, if I'm hearing correctly, does not have this.
That's correct.
Okay, so this is an add-on. Are there any other additional benefits besides lifetime income and death benefit that you could put in a plan like this?
There is some post-retirement medical, depending on plan designs, that could go into the plan at a later date if there are, if the assets support it. That gets into a whole other. That's probably another discussion on post-retirement medical. But yeah, there are some other things that could be added.
Are you
to
saying
plan.
I could maybe have a mini fund on the side that would address my medical needs under my retirement?
Yes, possibly.
Now this is beyond traditional HSA account, Medicare,
Yes.
supplements, things of this nature.
Yeah.
Is that a big provision in there? Can you get some pretty good numbers, pretty good money in a thing like that?
You can. The benefit-focused component of the plan and the responsibility of the plan to pay that pre- and post-retirement death benefit allows the plan to accumulate assets greater than what you would get in a traditional defined benefit plan.
Okay, let me just make sure. So a traditional defined benefit plan may have the normal ERISA cap, but a defined benefit plan that it offers death benefit and so forth, if I understood you correctly, actually offers a greater amount to contribute, and obviously that's a bigger deduction.
Correct. It can be 3 to 4 times what you can get in a traditional defined benefit plan.
Wait, I'm sorry, 3 to 4 times?
3 to 4 times.
Okay. Is this the attraction to the employer then
Absolutely.
to add on the death benefit, because the number becomes 3 to 4 times the conventional defined benefit plan?
Absolutely. And in most cases, that's what is really driving an employer to put in this kind of plan. They're maxing out their contribution levels in a traditional defined benefit plan. They're maxing out in a profit sharing or a 401k plan. They're looking for additional deductions, additional contributions.
Well, with all that is in ERISA, is this one of the largest tax-deducted defined benefit or defined contribution plans an employer can introduce into his company?
I would say it is the largest.
It is the largest. Wow. So now when I'm looking at, and I'm into deductions, and if I'm into major league, I thought I saw one. I had Peter on here, Peter Hibbard. He said I saw one other that was like the deductions was the conventional was 212, and I believe the actual defined benefit was like 890 grand.
Oh yeah.
All by adding the death benefit provision to this.
Yeah.
Okay, so are you doing, here's my question. Are you doing more now that you present this to a client? You said earlier in the segment that you're seeing more defined benefit plans. Remember, we were kind of losing them for a little while. Now it sounds like they're coming back. Are they coming back with the death benefit plan? Do you see them more without or with it?
We're seeing more with it.
because the deductions are so much greater. Okay.
Absolutely.
All right, so this is a new trend. So this one, you're hearing it first on my show. Not only defined benefit plans are making a major comeback, but they're making it with a death benefit provision in it that you guys call the benefit focus plan, because it's focused on benefits, not so much on cash and income, things like that. All right, now, it's not. This doesn't sound like it's widely known in the tax code.
It really isn't. You know, the actuary that designed this plan has a long history in the. He started as an actuary in the life insurance industry. He's not using anything that isn't in the code. He just has a greater knowledge of it than most actuaries do.
Well, I hate to ask this question, but has this been tested yet by the service?
Absolutely. There have been many audits. There has not been a loss of a deduction on any audit at all. In
your opinion, is this down the middle code?
Absolutely.
This isn't some extravagant gray area, you know, we're stretching the elasticity of the intent of the IRS.
Not at all.
Okay.
Not at all.
So you've already went through the audit system, and you're seeing more employers embrace this because of the 3 to 4 times larger deduction. Do employers like this because they want the provision for themselves?
Oh, absolutely. You know, I will say this usually works well in smaller family-owned type businesses.
Closely held.
Closely held. There may be a husband and wife situation where the wife is legitimately working in the business and earning an income. It's a great way for them to accumulate greater sums toward retirement. Particularly if they're not going to take it out, they're going to take it out over time. They're not going to take a lump sum payment if they don't need the money.
If I have a defined benefit plan that carries a death benefit, am I paying economic benefit tax for that?
Yes, you are.
Okay. And is it just traditional like it would be in a profit-sharing plan?
Yeah, it's
not going to be any different.
It's a small amant.
So, and it's a small amount. You say it's very economic. It's very relative. The cost is extremely relatively reasonable.
Absolutely.
Okay. All right. So when I take that out and I die in my retirement, is that tax-free to my family, trust, children, depending upon who I'm assigning it to?
Yes, it is.
So it doesn't matter who this goes to. Now, is it predetermined in there where this is going?
The plan document determines the beneficiary arrangements, and they're hardwired into the document, so there can be no change to that. ERISA requires that your spouse be the beneficiary first.
Now, I heard Peter in one of our shows say that the spouse could waive her right. So where does that go default? If she waives it, where does it go if she waives it?
Well, then, if the proper, hopefully, we're doing planning, you know, from an estate planning standpoint. There's a bigger picture here that we're accomplishing with business. But typically, there would be a trust set up next, and if the wife waives her rights to the benefit, then it would go to the trust. If the trust is not established, then it would go to the children, and then to the estate as the final.
And when you set this up, what would you say, and I know it's hard to ask a question, but I'm kind of using, who's qualified for this? What kind of guy you're looking for? What kind of company?
Well, it's generally a very profitable business, someone that has, you know, they're going to have a good 3 to 5 solid years where they're going to be making good profits, and they want high deductions. They need
Could they target this plan just for that high-end 3 to 5 years? And can they amend the plan afterwards?
Absolutely, they can.
They could.
They can.
So if I knew I was coming up with some serious money and got a window of opportunity here, maybe it's limited 3 to 5 years, I could match this plan up to catch that serious profitability and really shelter a lot of that. That's what I'm hearing you say?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, this is a very kind of an off-side show to traditional defined benefit plans. And if I'm a small employer, highly profitable, this could be a way to really bring my tax liability down and my retirement plan way up.
Absolutely. It ramps it up, and it ramps it up really quickly.
In your opinion, last question for the segment. In your opinion, when you're presenting defined benefit plans or contribution plans, are you bringing this up almost automatically?
Absolutely. Yes.
So you have high value in this.
Well, we do. And you know, again, it goes back to some basic questions that we ask of the customer, and that is, what is your budget? You know, I mean, this is not a plan that fits every budget, but if the budget is there, it is definitely something that we want them to look at.
Well, I want to thank you for sharing this segment and all the 5 segments on this plan on the Advantage Retirement Plan. I mean, this is huge. This last thing we talked about is just great. And remember, you keep in mind, before moving forward with any ideas we're talking about, especially an idea like this, always check in with your tax consultant legal counsel, or financial advisor. You've been watching Steve Savant's Money, the name of the game.